Now again, the joys and happiness of festive season is back. And again, a debate on firecracker bans, especially in the NCR region, has again reignited. Very recently, the Honorable Supreme Court of India has signalled that it may particularly relax firecrackers ban in the Delhi NCR region on a trial basis, because they suggested that this firecracker ban might not be an ideal solution. And also, the Honorable Supreme Court of India would be seeking to balance environmental concerns and public sentiment as well, similar to the 2018 Arjun Gopal judgment, which has allowed only low emission green crackers, that is green firecrackers. Now, as we know that Diwali is one of the most dear and one of the most celebrated festivals of Indians, and during this period a debate around bursting firecrackers always starts, and every year it has started since the last one decade. And since the last one decade, judiciary has also got involved in this alongside the executive, which is why this has led to concerns, criticism from different quarters of communities of different areas in our country as well, where public sentiment in a way is getting hurt, where public is not allowed to burst firecrackers during the dear occasion, dear festival of theirs, which is Diwali. Now, of course, everyone is privy to the conditions of Delhi NCR region during the winters, especially during the winters when a smog-like situation gets created, that is smoke plus fog. And which is why Honorable Supreme Court of India is also having its valid reasons to go for a complete firecracker ban. But there needs to be certain alternative solution. A complete ban is never the solution. Which is why this time Honorable Supreme Court of India has suggested that we might go for an alternative route, and we might partially relax this firecracker ban in the NCR region. Now, what is the debate around this firecracker ban? What have been the different case laws? What are these green crackers? And what has been the evolution of this firecracker ban in the last 10 years, last one decade, we'll be trying to understand in this particular session. And what is the way forward, of course. Hello, my name is Preetpal Singh and you're watching Perspective. Now, first of all, let us try to understand this issue as not just public sentiment versus environmental hazard, but also in a constitutional way as well. See, the right to clean environment is a very essential part to right to life, which is enshrined in Article 21 of our Indian Constitution. And it states that no person shall be deprived of his or her life or personal liberty except according to the procedure established by the law. And the right to clean environment, which is a very essential part of right to life, is also including right to clean air as well, which is very crucial for ensuring a healthy life and a healthy lifestyle. Which is why it also becomes a constitutional matter as well, that right to clean air is a constitutional right of every citizen of our country. Now, keeping this in mind, in the year 2015, a firecracker litigation was filed in the Honorable Supreme Court of India. A petition was filed by 3 infants which were seeking protection from Delhi's toxic air. And you would know that it is the same time frame when Delhi's furious smog and air pollution crisis in Delhi was at its peak. And what happened in October of 2018 was that the Supreme Court delivered its judgment. In a landmark ruling, it banned the conventional firecrackers and only permitted the green crackers to be used in Delhi NCR. And these variants will be developed by CSIR with a fixed time slots for bursting those crackers. So Supreme Court of India came up with these guidelines in the year of 2018. Very simple. But a very appalling action was taken place in the November of 2020. In the November of 2020, the National Green Tribunal, NGT, imposed an absolute ban on firecrackers during the Diwali season in the National Capital Region of Delhi, and also other highly polluted cities in the country as well, expanding its restrictions beyond the earlier framework which was given by the Honorable Supreme Court of India. Now, this was devastating, especially for public sentiments for the people living in the NCR region and the other cities which were heavily polluted, because people wanted to celebrate Diwali with bursting firecrackers, which they have been doing since the start, since they were born. But now, because of certain unprecedented situation and because of the judgment of NGT, the guidelines of NGT, it suddenly becomes illegal to burst any crackers, any sort of crackers in the NCR region during the Diwali season. Now, since this absolute ban was imposed in the year 2020, November 2020, from 2021 onwards, Delhi Pollution Control Committee was given the responsibility, this DPCC was given the responsibility to regulate the ban on the sale and usage of firecrackers from September onwards through the winter each year. But this did not stop here. a further year-round absolute ban would be imposed in the year 2023. Following the Supreme Court's directions, Delhi extended this prohibition to a year-round ban to control persistent air pollution in the region. So if you have to know right now what is the current status is that there is right now a complete year-long absolute ban on bursting firecrackers in Delhi NCR region. That is the truth. And if you burst firecrackers, especially during the Diwali season, it is illegal in the NCR region right now. But why are we discussing this? Because Honorable Supreme Court of India recently have said in the September of 2025, they've said that while reviewing pleas to modify the ban, the court has allowed the certified manufacturers to produce green crackers, but they have prohibited their sale in the Delhi NCR region until further orders. Now from 2015 to 2025, we are well aware of the chronology of events which have taken place in relation to firecracker ban in the NCR region. Now there is one word which kept on coming up again and again, that is green crackers. Let us try to understand what is technically the meaning of these green crackers and how green they actually are. Now green crackers are so-called eco-friendly crackers or eco-friendly fireworks which have been developed by CSIR, that is Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, National Environment Engineering Research Institute, that is CSIR NEERI, to reduce the environmental pollution and harmful emissions and air pollutions in the NCR region, which is why these crackers or these green crackers have been developed by CSIR. The question is, how are these crackers made? These crackers are made with small shells. They reduce the raw material usage, elimination of ashes, their ashes not used, and dust suppressant additives are used, which helps in curbing smoke and particulate emissions by bursting these crackers. So smoke won't be there, and particulate matter emissions won't also be there, because they are very much polluting, especially in relation to air pollution. Now, while we already know that the combustion-based fireworks, which means the fireworks which are lighted, can never be entirely pollution-free, which means that there can't be a case that it is leading to zero pollution, but definitely these green crackers, they pollute 30 to 40% lesser pollutants than the traditional ones. Which means I question that how green these green crackers actually are. They're actually 30 to 40% more green than the traditional firecrackers, which means they pollute 30 to 40% less. Also, one more important fact is that they don't contain toxic substances such as barium nitrate, arsenic or lead also. And instead, they use certain alternative formulations that reduces smoke also, that reduces particulate matter emissions also, and noise levels also to a very great extent. And as you would know, who was given the responsibility? CSIR NEERI was given the responsibility to make these green crackers. Now these green crackers were made in the year 2018 in the three specific variants. One was SWAS, one was STAR, and another was SUFFLE. Now SWAS means a safe water releaser, STAR means safe thermite cracker, and SUFFLE means safe minimal aluminium. And these were the three variants of green crackers which were developed by CSIR. Now, as I've already told you, that these green crackers, they eliminate potassium nitrate and sulfur, and they help in cutting gas and dust emissions to a great extent, significantly, while maintaining the festive brightness and sounds within the safer limit as well. Now, while everything is sounding right, but one thing is that are these green crackers 100% green? The answer is no. 30 to 40% more green than the traditional ones. Additional to that, in the year 2022, Delhi Technological University DTU did a study on these green crackers, and they found that these crackers, after burning, they still release high concentrations of ultra fine particles into the air. Now these particles are so fine that they are even more harmful than particulate matter 2.5 and particulate matter 10 as well, which might pose serious health risks in future as well. So which is why green crackers are also not 100% safe, but a better and safer alternative as compared to the traditional ones. Now the question is, how do we identify green crackers? Now green crackers, they carry a very specific QR code, or also a green code as well, a green logo of CSIR and NEERI. And alongside that, there is a QR code as well, which is an encrypted QR code for authenticity. So only those companies which are approved by this CSIR NEERI or Petroleum and Explosive Safety Organization, only the companies which are approved by these two organizations can manufacture green crackers in the country. And then licensed vendors, they are authorized to sell the produce to the public and sell these green crackers to the public. Now, since we have very well understood that in the last 1 decade what has happened in relation to this firecracker ban, what are these green crackers, how do we identify them? Now let us very quickly discuss what is the way forward. See, first of all, we need to understand that the issue is not very normal. issue is very complex than what it seems, because Delhi's pollution is very, very real, and Delhi's toxic air quality is also very real, because Delhi is one of the most polluted cities, not just in India but in the entire world, which is why the toxic air pollution can lead to a lot of other health hazards like cancer, like lung damage, kidney damage, and a lot of other chronic respiratory diseases amongst the people in the country and amongst the people in the region also, which is why we need to address this issue of Delhi's air pollution definitely. But let us ask one simple question, that to what extent these firecrackers contributes towards Delhi's air pollution? And let me answer you, the number is very, very negligible, because most of the Delhi's pollution is not coming from the firecrackers, it is actually coming from the vehicular emissions, it is actually coming from the commercial emissions, it is actually coming from the cars, the trucks, the bikes, the industries which we have, and which is why if we need to control air pollution in the country, we need to make all these ecosystems, all these infrastructure projects in an eco-friendly way. We need to find alternatives for them and not for the firecrackers. Green firecrackers won't help much, but green industries, green technologies in order to reduce the level of pollution in the air, that is what would work for our country, that is what would work for our region in the longer run. Banning of this firecracker is a very temporary move, and it is not an ideal situation at all, because people have been bursting crackers since time immemorial, and which is why bursting cracker is never the reason for air getting polluted. So in actuality, what are we doing is that we are actually identifying the wrong cause. And if we are identifying the wrong cause, we won't be able to treat the effect. If we understand the symptom properly, if we are able to clearly anticipate the symptoms, we will be able to treat the disease also in a very good way, in a very efficient way. So if you want to treat the problem and the menace of air pollution in the country, we need to solve, or we need to work on the right path. We need to work on the right areas rather than focusing on trivial things like firecracker ban. Which is why we need to definitely reduce this ban, or we need to remove this ban on the firecrackers, and we need to come up with several other ways in order to combat air pollution in the region. I hope you gained a new perspective from the session. What are your views surrounding this firecracker ban, absolute ban by the National Green Tribunal, and after that further enforcing by the Delhi government? What are your views surrounding this? Do let us know in the comment section. We'll be happy to read them. All the best. Have a very beautiful day. Thank you.